So today we're doing something different. I actually have a guest who came in from Las Vegas to visit his family in Connecticut and different parts of the Northeast. His name is Tom Deitz, former SEAL team member and actually a commander, former commander of the SEAL Team 5. I mean, they're doing great work now, he is, since he's retired, with a foundation called the Special Ops Warrior Foundation, who's raising money for the families of those special ops soldiers who are lost. Helps the kids get into college, and it also helps the widows in their times of need. Now, the reason I'm involved is because he does everything through golf tournaments. So that's great. I don't think I have a golf tournament from them in Connecticut. So what's going on here anyway? I'm going to go over his swing with a fine-tooth comb. He's very knowledgeable. It was a pleasure for him to come in. And I don't know anything about the military or special ops. So he was very instructive in teaching me a few things. And I think you're going to enjoy it. Again, this is for the Special Ops Warrior Foundation. And I'm also going to take his swing apart. He has a very good swing, even though he's also an adaptive golfer. He's got a lung condition. He's not sure if he got that from the Gulf War or it's something that he was destined to have in his life anyway. We don't know. But I think you're going to enjoy this. And as always, thank you for tuning in and watching Forgotten Golfer.
This usually, with a smooth swing, this usually has a nice draw to it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I saw you draw the wedge a little bit.
Yeah. And of course, that's got a little fade
Well,
to it.
you got to understand one thing. These balls
These
are
are
shaped
range
as
balls. Yeah.
footballs.
Yeah.
So they'll go anywhere, but that was pretty straight. The wind
like,
is going right.
It's not like a private club with Pro V1s on the range.
There you go. Jesus, you hit it like a pro. So what's going on? How much money did they pull in a year? What's it called, the foundation?
The Special Operations Warrior Foundation.
Okay. How much money do they pull in? A tournament or a year? Or...
It really varies. Some are very small. I started as a retired Navy SEAL, and the first year my event made $7,000, and I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
And then as it became a habit and it grew, and we started moving towards private clubs, upwards of $250,000 per event for my events. And again, there are events across the country. My father-in-law had a great line about money. He said, if you saw it on the sidewalk, would you pick it up? So if it's a small event with one of my Green Beret or Army Ranger brothers that they're putting on in their hometown and it makes $5,000, that's fantastic.
Right.
If it becomes an established annual event that plateaus at $250,000 a year, that's great.
Yeah.
That's my goal as I try to take this around the country.
And obviously, go ahead. Obviously, people want to contribute.
Yeah. Once they find out about it, do their research, make sure that we're the foundation that I'm telling them about or that they read about on the website, and confirm that our administrative overhead has never been over 6%.
Yeah, I heard that on the podcast.
And then the results of our children in their education, and the fact that we've had 516 graduates of everything from trade school through Ivy League schools.
And I'm going to put on the description of this video, I'm going to put all the credentials. So that's the bad one?
That's the bad one, the pull.
Okay, let me have you try something right away.
Okay.
you're good. So if you want to, one of the things of my website is if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But if you want to fool around with something today, another thing I teach, you're a little out here, you got air here. I don't want any air in your armpits, so stand a little taller and a little closer, and swing easy.
Okay.
Just do that. Keep your
That's easy.
armpits in. Well, let the club do the work.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll take that.
Did you feel like you were closer to the ball?
It did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people, it feels more powerful when you're reaching out like you're going to hit a Mickey Mantle home run.
Yeah. Yeah.
But most people stand too far. Ben Hogan said you can't stand too close to the ball. So.
I didn't see that, but I looked down
No,
the
it went
middle.
straight. It went a little lower than your other shots.
Okay.
I don't know if you thinned it or. But there's not much to say. You got a good tempo. You don't have your feet too wide. That's the other thing. If you took that club and you put your feet like this, there wouldn't be much difference. And yet people are like this. Of course, they're all 20 something. They're all and you know.
Yeah, where everything bends a lot more.
When they get our age, they'll say, like I think of John Rahm. Everybody goes, "Wow, John Rahm. What's he gonna do when he's 40? How's he gonna swing like that?"
Yeah. Brings it back to here.
And then rips it.
Hits it 330 yards.
Yeah, but your body doesn't react. I'll show you my swing in a minute. I used to take it up here. I'm over here now. That's all I can do. My shoulders are tight. I'm tight. But you work with it. You hit it in the center of the club.
Yep.
Okay. You just let too much weight go to the front.
Mm-hmm.
Let your weight go back on the back side a little bit. Of course, you're under pressure here.
Well, right now, I'd say my game is built for a scramble. So I hit shots like that, and then I'll hit a perfect wedge in.
What formats are the tournaments?
I like to do them a shamble off the tee, so everybody hits and you go to the best drive, and then 2 best balls from the group. And that way, after a good drive, you're probably in the fairway, and then everyone gets to play their own ball.
Oh,
because a lot of times people at the tournaments haven't played that course before, and if it's a straight scramble, then you lose interest. They're not using your ball because there are guys better than you. So I like the shamble and then best 2 balls. The 2 balls get it going. If somebody's having a bad hole, you just pick it up. And because scrambles, if it's a full event, can turn into 6-hour rounds, and nobody wants a 6-hour round.
Well, I just played in a scramble where each person, you had to use 3 drives.
Yeah,
that's pressure if you got a guy that doesn't drive.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway. There you go.
So that's a little draw I like with this club.
Yeah. So how many days a year does this foundation take up in your life? Is it 365? I mean, you got a family.
I'm thinking about it 365.
Yeah.
Because it's such a passion for me. But if I'm starting up a new event, or I'm going to an event where it's our first year as one of many beneficiaries, that becomes a lot more work because it's the education of the people that are hosting the event. And if it's my own event the first time, it takes, months to put together. But my longest running event just had their 14th annual, and that's at Hacienda Golf Club in La Habra Heights, east of Disneyland, about 10 miles. And they just had their 14th annual, and it runs like clockwork. They have a committee.
And the course handles it, or you have a committee go there?
They have their own committee of members, which is my business plan because it works. And private clubs, they have events every day.
Are special op people involved in there?
Yes.
Even though they're,
So if I'm in Southern California, we have SEALs right there in San Diego. Events in Virginia Beach, there are SEALs right there. If it's an event in North Carolina, it's mostly Army special operators that attend it. And we try to put one special operations, either active duty or retired, with every paying group.
Okay, so here's a stupid question.
No.
What's special operations? I thought it was like the SEALs were special ops.
Yes.
But the Army has special ops?
Yes. So
and the Marines?
In 1987, Congress created a 4-star command called United States Special Operations Command. So my predecessors, the underwater demolition teams, have been around since World War II. The SEAL teams, SEAL Team 1 and 2, were created in 1962. So special operations has been around a long time. The Green Berets and Rangers.
Okay, all right.
And all those have been around. But in 1987, it was codified with a 4-star command. And it's United States Special Operations Command. So the Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Army Green Berets, Army Special Operations Aviation Regiment, Marine Corps Raiders, Air Force Special Operations. Administratively, we still belong to our services, but operationally, we report to U.S. Special Operations Command.
Now,
and our foundation covers the children of all special operations services.
I mean, here you are, retired, golfer, sitting back, turn on your TV, and you see the mess in Israel. Does your mind go right there?
It does.
What they're doing, what the plan is. You don't have to go into it, but what they're probably doing to
I mean, Israel's pretty much been at war their entire existence, and their military is always on high alert. Their training turns into real world in the snap of a finger. And their special operators...
We got an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 now.
You can get there from the Persian Gulf from an aircraft carrier. You can get there much easier from the Red Sea or the Mediterranean. So we can bring the force as much as we, as a country, feel we need to support Israel.
What a mess.
It is, truly.
And I don't even know the ins and outs. You got to be going, oh my God.
Yeah. And we train with our allies around the world, we being all services of special operations. Really, all throughout the world, we train with them. In some countries, we train with a little more, and Israel has always been one of our major partners in our cross-training with our allies.
And I mean, the Gaza Strip, that's a different kind of warfare altogether, right? It's everything's it's like they said, somebody used the analogy, New York City is like a Central Park compared to the Gaza Strip because everything's so close.
Right. And you look at the history of
tunnels down there.
Yeah, the history of why there is a Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
It's protective. It's why there's a Golan Heights in the West Bank. It's because that's where Israel has historically been attacked from. And those are buffer zones because we need to protect our own country. And then the other side is saying, well, that's our land, so we need to populate it. And it's a mess. That's the perfect word. Sometimes simple works.
Well, let me hit a couple here.
Okay, looking forward to seeing this.
Show you. Well, it's not as impressive as yours, but you know, I want to make sure people that watch my videos don't think I'm a cardboard cutout. I just came up with a new move, and it's a takeaway. I used to take it back more like this, and now I'm doing this. And it's not that I'm doing this; it's that I'm bringing it up like that. And I'm having more success with the ball flight. I caught that a hair thin, but
and as you mentioned earlier, I see your stance is
because I'm
pretty narrow.
I can't move. I can't even bend down to pick the ball up. I have to get, my putter's got a ball picker eye. So, and the thing is, cerebral palsy, when I'm 20, I couldn't move as well, but I'm 20. And I'm thinking, man, am I going to be on a pro tour? Am I going to play? I was captain of my high school, captain of my college. And then it's like I'm turning into a petrified piece of wood because I'm 66. And regular people with no problems are stiffening up. So you're very fortunate that you weren't wounded or hurt.
I know. It's a lot of close calls, but still have all my pieces and nothing's really broken. I stretch a lot. Flexibility is key.
See, I can't even do that. Because what my muscles do is they can contract beautifully. They can't loosen.
Ooh.
So if I try to stretch and loosen, I pull things out and I'm worse.
Yeah.
So I soak, and I use muscle relaxers, but sometimes I wake up with a hangover because of those.
Nice.
It's not the kind of shot we need today. We actually, I don't know if you fool with shots. Today we need something where we just put it back a little bit, put the hands a little forward, and just keep the follow through low. So we're doing one of those a little lower.
They're all landing right next to each other.
Well,
That's
yeah,
a good thing.
Like I said, I don't have enough moving parts to hit it crooked.
Yeah.
But fantastic. You must be proud of yourself.
I can't let myself go there.
You should.
No.
No.
And helping others helps
Right.
me. And it's a beautiful cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, you should try that if your swing goes south right away. Watch, you put it right in there, because if you look at what the legs do in the swing, what the shoulders do in the swing, what the hands do in the swing, actually the legs are the least contributor. Where the legs come in is they get the club square, right? Because the number one thing in golf is balance. If you're hitting the ball and then you're going,
oh, right,
that's you're done.
Yeah. You know,
So
they say you pose after your shot. Well, that's not because you hit a really good shot. It means you're still in balance. It might be a bad shot, but if you can still pose.
But if your swing goes south and you don't know why, you can just put them together. I can't. My balance is so awful, I can't put them together, but some people can. And you'll see it's not much different.
No.
So don't be afraid to pull it in. You can't be. You'll know if you're too close. Don't be afraid, because you're back.
Jim Furyk's another one with really narrow stance, and he is closer to the ball than I think any other pro. And then he's got the funky backswing that he wraps around.
He's got his swing all his own.
Yeah.
Which is good, but you can't copy it.
No.
And that's the trouble.
Copy his downswing, not his backswing.
Right, his impact position.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with YouTube golf instructors. They're teaching from a cookie cutter perspective because they don't want to lose people.
Yeah.
I don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm broke. My swing's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but one thing, and you don't have to think about this mentally. Another big thing, if you want to be on plane, right? That keeps you straight. You can't think of it when you do it, but when you practice, when you're down here, that should be pointing at the ball. That's how you know you're on plane.
Yeah.
So take it here. When your arm is right about here, that should be pointing at the ball. That means you're going to unleash it, right, and hit it straight. If you're in too much, you're going to cut it. If you're way out here, you're going to block it. So that's the magic. And they're teaching now. God, they're teaching stupid things. They're teaching now that you do this and hit it. No. What you do is, and you know this, I'm watching you, you do it. You do this, and it's not on plane, but you move laterally, look what happens.
Right.
If you don't move the legs, you're not going to be on plane.
Yeah.
And you're going to be falling out. So for me, the checkpoints are armpits in, a little taller, and then coming down and pointing the ball. And that's the stuff you just work on in practice. You can't do it on a course because it'll drive you crazy.
Get it to muscle memory on the range.
Right. And that's why I start with the wedge, because it's much easier, even on a chip shot, even your chip shots, and you'll see you'll be hitting them straight as an arrow.
Nice.
So, what, did you come in late yesterday? Is that what happened, the flight?
No, I drove up. I was so visited nephews in the Washington, D.C. area, one of whom just retired, 20 years a Navy SEAL. And then I went from there to my brothers in Delaware, and there to a brother in New Jersey, and then drove up here yesterday.
So, do family members use you as an inspiration to get in there? I mean, the training is incredible. Most people don't even make it.
Right. And
what was it, like 19%?
It's about 17% graduation. I don't like to say attrition.
Yeah.
I'd rather focus on the positive of about historically 17% from day one will graduate.
I love the image of what you said you had to go through with on Hell Week, and then cut to Desert Storm, and you're kneeling in the water up to your nose for how many hours? 4 hours?
For an hour.
Yeah. Just kneeling and just looking at the, not moving.
Correct. And if we did move, we said, had my weapon just above the water and the water here. And if I moved this much, that would take 10 minutes. So the movement is so slow, even if you're watching, you don't notice the movement. It's a training. It definitely is.
And the other great line from that podcast was, everybody's going to the moon but me. We've all I felt that from birth.
Mm-hmm.
Why me? Why do I have this?
Right.
Like you said, when you couldn't go to...
Yeah, when they told me I had adult onset asthma, my first question was, how do we get rid of it?
Right.
And they say, you don't. You manage it. And you're also at 35% capacity, not cleared to deploy overseas. And this was a month after 9/11. It was shattering.
Because you wanted to send your men.
Of course. And
did your men go?
I would not be kicking down doors at that position as a commanding officer, but my leadership and my training of my guys had me fully confident to go there and lead them. And I was not able to do that. SEAL Team 5 deployed early in 2003. So about a year after things were happening, the guys that I had trained went overseas, and they did just a phenomenal job. So I was very proud of them, even though I was not able to command them.
Yeah.
And I still am to this day. Yeah. As those, especially the guys who were new guys then, are now the commanding officers of SEAL teams, are now the command master chiefs on the enlisted side, and they're still doing great things for our country.
Well, I know from my experience being know nothing about the military, that the SEAL team came into focus when they got bin Laden.
It's true.
And they went step by step how the helicopter went down. Luckily, no one was killed.
Yeah.
And you see the picture of in the war room about everybody's like that.
But you know,
that's put
we
them on the
plan
map.
for things to go wrong, because in my mind, you don't want to think while you're doing a mission. You want to react to the planning that you've put together, that you've briefed, that's been approved, it's been reviewed at every level, and then they tell you go.
That's golf.
And it's golf. You don't want to think during a round.
No.
You rely on what you've done on the range, what you've done working with instructors.
Somebody will say, can you help me? I go, they can't on the course.
Yeah, I know.
Can't. And then I'll have somebody play with me, and they'll say, oh, did you see this movie? Did you see this record or this music? This and I'm like, could you at least keep the conversation to golf?
Yeah.
Because my mind, I'm getting over the shot. Did you hit a record by so-and-so? I'm like,
I know. For 4 hours, let's concentrate on playing golf.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Get you out of your head.
Yep.
So, all right, man.
Thanks so much.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to hit some more balls, we can hit them, or we can give them to somebody here. They'll be overjoyed.
Yeah, we'll dish them out.
Let me just make sure we got sound.
I know, that would be good.
All the additional information you'll need about the foundation, the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, will be in my description of this video, along with the wonderful podcast that he did, that Tom did with his friend Nick at Light Helmet. So go to that and you'll learn all you got to know about a guy who had a pretty terrific career.